Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Today you join me in the UK's cheapest Audi S5. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I'll put that here. I bought this car very cheaply through an auction. It came with a report that said it had knocking coming from the engine. I mean, admittedly, I completely missed the report, didn't see it, and just thought, wow, I got myself a bargain, until I'd paid and realised that I'd won and pooed myself. But as it turns out, it wasn't actually the engine at all. There was a weird knocking noise coming from one of the rear resonator boxes.
There you go.
That's how it was before.
Sounds like knock.
So I thought maybe we'll just have to replace that, or maybe I'll have to get a aftermarket exhaust or something. Well, what I've actually done is I thought I'd just take that back box off and cut it open, just see exactly what was going on. What's in there? Is there a baffle loose? Is there a bit of tube loose or something? The only thing I could really guess it was, once we got it open, there's a couple of dividing sheets in there which kind of seem to act as some kind of structural support for the box as well. We did think about completely gutting it and making it louder, but then thought perhaps the structural rigidity wouldn't be all there and maybe we should just try and repair the standard box first. So I've had to, being that this is a stainless steel exhaust, I've had to TIG weld it back, and we drilled some holes along where these supports are and welded that all tight, because the theory was being that perhaps they were hitting one another and that's what was causing the knocking. So we welded it back up, put it on the ramp, and it all sounds perfect. I haven't heard a single noise from it, so I can only assume that solved it. But we're out here just having a little bit of a drive, making sure that once it's up to temperature and it's been wriggled around a bit, that these noises don't come back. And while we're out, I may as well give you my thoughts on these cars. I think I may have discussed it very briefly in the last video, but I didn't cover a huge amount of things. I really like these cars. I think they have got fantastic aesthetics. They look incredibly wide and powerful. They've almost got a bit of an American muscle car look about them, the way they've got the shoulders on the rear arches. Interior wise, I think they're starting to feel a little bit dated now. The seats are still looking incredible, but without harness holes, it seems to be a pretty common theme in most things now, even if they're not using them. I guess that gives it a bit more of a modern feel and a bit more expense put into the interior, I guess. The steering wheels are pretty bland. I mean, this is the same thing you get in an A3, you get it in a Q7. They might have added some nice stitching and an S5 badge, but it's boring, man. It's just something flat bottom, something looking a bit more aggressive, and maybe Alcantara on here to give it a bit of a race feel would definitely add a lot to this car. The infotainment system and sat-nav in these, being this generation, again, it's really dated now. It's functional, and you do get Bluetooth telephone. But what's annoying is you get telephone, but you don't get Bluetooth music. So if you want that, you have to get a plug-in dongle, and then it won't display on the screen. BMW and Audi are both guilty of this, but if you were to get something like a Ford or a Mercedes, their systems seem to be well ahead of the other two. This sort of era, in the 2010 era, give or take a few years, Mercedes, Ford, and a few other manufacturers are well ahead of Audi and BMW for getting on board with actually having Bluetooth connectivity for your music, which is really what most of us use it for. Otherwise, these are pretty well spec'd. They feel powerful, they're smooth, they're very comfortable and feel obviously absolutely planted with the four-wheel drive system. One kind of annoyance I've noticed is if you have this in a manual, and I can't remember from the top of my head whether this is the same for all manual A5s, but where your foot goes for the clutch, there's almost like a plastic mound, and it's obviously gone around some kind of component in the production, but you want to go and step on your clutch pedal and there's a plastic mound that the bottom of your foot's resting on. If you're a big flat-footed moron like I am, and you want to just plant your foot flat down to go on the clutch, you kind of have to wiggle it around, and that's a real pet peeve for me because I need to be comfortable in a car. I do not want to be mangling my feet into tiny little places just to be able to drive. The sound system's good, albeit bar the connection issues I've mentioned before, which is just as well because you'll probably want to be listening to that over the exhaust. The standard exhaust on this, of course, which is very subdued. You can hear it's got power and it's a V8, but it's like I say, it's subdued, and there is no switchable valves in this car, unlike later models where you've got an individual mode where you can set it to as loud as possible setting to really enjoy the engine noise. This predates that, I'm afraid, and you don't get it. So a nice aftermarket exhaust on this really does make a world of difference to the car, and the standard one's just a little bit of a letdown, really. All of these things, though, are me trying to pick fault with the car, so I don't just sit here and say, this is the best thing ever, this is the best thing ever, about every car I ever get on this channel. I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion, and even though I say some of these things are negatives, it doesn't mean that I actually hold it against the car. That's just the state of the facts. That is what the car is, and these are things you have to consider when rating them against another one, I suppose. The engine in these, incredible. Thinking back to the last video, I did a 0 to 60 in 5.29 seconds. And with the four-wheel drive, I guess it didn't feel quite as quick as it should have done, because I've just done an M135i that's tuned and exhaust system and induction kit, and it did it in 5.4, which felt quicker. All right, it was quite squirrely in rear-wheel drive, but it just goes to show that this, in standard form, is a very, very quick and capable car. The fact that you can be driving around in a German 4.2 V8 with all the features you really want, albeit if you have to plug in your Bluetooth dongle, for well under 10 grand, I think's incredible. And then it puts you in the realm of where you can really start making some modifications to this and making the car your own. So that's my view on the Audi S5. I haven't heard anything untoward coming from the exhaust, so I'm hoping that we've fixed that. But let's park up and check out how it's sounding from the outside. She is purring away. No noises to be heard. This is the kind of area where all the noise was coming from before, and now it's completely silent, so I can say we have definitely solved that issue. So I am declaring this one a success, and I'm over the moon to have fixed this car for free. When I first saw that report after I'd won it, and I was like, oh, I have won the S5, and for 4,300, and I saw the report saying it had a knocking engine, my heart sank. So I am over the moon to have got it back, kept my calm, checked it over, found out the exhaust, and attempted to repair ourselves. It just goes to show that, you know, it pays to keep a calm head, not let your thoughts get away from you, and we've done it, fixed it. So it's now going to get ready, have its service and preparation, and it will go off to its new owner, who's absolutely going to love it. So if you enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.